Hey, what's up guys? So we're here to check out the new April 1st, 2020 OCG ban list. And I also want to mention, this is the new ban list that we will also be applying the new Master Rule 2020, which will make it so you no longer need your fusions, synchros, and seize monsters to require that link monster arrow to be pointing towards it. This is going to completely change up the game, and if you don't know about the new rules, I'll have it pinned down below. Make sure you guys watch that. It is super important for this entire ban list. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and check it out. There are some insane things, but I also will cover it as we go along because there's new erratas here. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into it. So, Forbidden Djinn Releaser of Rituals. I'm sorry, OCG players, no more side decking the Djinns. I'm sorry, guys. That is still by far my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh meme of all time. Side decking the Djinn, man. Next up, though, for Forbidden, the Guard Dragon Alpi. Specifically, I guess, for also what they're also putting on the newer ban list. You'll see they're bringing back a very powerful dragon card. Also, they hit the World Challenge Justicar. I think everyone has been wanting this card to go away for a long time. It's basically splashable if you get an extra free like summon to a link zone. Next up, though, limited ABC Dragon Buster over here. In fact, this is more so for the new ruling, because with the new ruling you could spam up multiples and it just it's out of control, honestly. Next up, though, Galatea, the Orcas Automaton over here, Automaton, whatever. This card over here, being limited to one, kind of hurts the deck, as well as the Orcas Harp Horror. These cards we're still seeing some play. As far as the meta goes, I'll also talk a little bit briefly about what is meta in the OCG, basically Sky Striker and Orcas, though. The ABC is just for the new ban list. Jug Speeder, rip those Synchro decks, though. There's also a huge rip on Synchro decks. Next up, though, Makyura the Destructor. So that's the card I'm sure some of you guys remember and you cried about it because this card is so OP. But I have to mention, it's not the same Makyura. This Makyura is bottom tier, dude. Ice barrier levels of actually viability. But maybe someone will make it better, but I have to go over the new effect. So Makyura the Destructor, this card was legendary, alright? It opened up the doors for like the best FTKs possible in Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyways, he's completely wrecked now. It says you can only use this card's name effect once per turn. The first effect says if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Once during this turn, you can activate a trap card from your hand. So basically, it's like Temple of the Kings. It's no one really cares for the most part. I don't know if there's going to be any new FTKs. Someone definitely let me know in the comment section below. Is there any still ways to pull off an FTK with Makyura copying the effect? Or I don't know. There might be some really weird way to use it. Because before, how it worked is during this card is sent to the graveyard. It doesn't even have to go from the monster zone, because now it's like even worse than it used to be. Alright? The owner of this card can activate trap cards from his or her hand. So what happened is people Reckless Greed, Jar of Greed, people just cycle through all their deck. Exodia, it was the best by far FTK for the most part, but it ruins the legendary card. And since we haven't talked about erratas, I have to mention something. If you go to a legacy tournament, you still have to use the new rule. You can't use the old rule, which makes them actually good, which really sucks. I really don't like erratas. Let me know, guys, how you feel about erratas down below in the comment section below. I would much rather they make Makyura the Destructor #2 or Makyura the Destructor's brother, and he has the bad effect. Let the legendary cards be iconic and legendary. Don't change Pot of Greed. Like, could you guys imagine if they're like, okay, we're gonna make Pot of Greed legal now, but it has got a bad effect? No, keep the original like OG broken cards broken and just keep it banned, and for legacy tournaments people can use them, because again, the small amount of support legacy tournaments do get, I just think it's just so much better to have the original OG OP effect, right? Anyways, next up, Spiral Quick Fix is getting a hit over here. And then we also see Wind Up Carriers and Matey, Wind Up Magician, Dragon Rise, but this doesn't really matter. I'm curious to know how you guys feel about that, because most people just play one Vertex, one Dragon. That's actually getting hit as well. TG Hyper Librarian, this is a huge, kind of disappointing, but at the same time, if you guys haven't seen people loop Trishula like your entire hand, then you'll probably understand why, because with double or triple Librarian, it is out of control, dude. It really is. Cyber Sun, whatever with that one. Trishula, it didn't really matter because you could loop it anyways with, because with Pot of Avarice. Well, let me go ahead and Pot of Avarice in the OCG was at 3 anyways, and so like you can recycle a lot of stuff. So like this doesn't really matter too much. This actually was what hurts the most. Then the Verde Anaconda, but that again, it doesn't matter. Most people that play, they only play one Verde Anaconda, and 1 copy of course, the Dragon of Red Eyes. Unless, of course, you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and make it with Extravagance and then run 3 copies of each, the expensive version, but for the most part, we don't even have that card in the TCG anyways. But next up, the Author of Scorpio also being hit over here, and then Totally Awesome also being limited to 1, which really is disappointing for a lot of different decks. Well, I mean, it is also due to the new Master Rule, because before you'd make, Mr. Boy, and like, did you really need that? Link Cross, I mean, at 1 is fine. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Okay, this one over here, it's so fresh, like, this news is so fresh. Drop a like on this video. I don't know if I'm the first one here, but anyways, nonetheless, this was posted over on the Yu-Gi-Oh page, but it's on their Twitter, like the official Yu-Gi-Oh page for Twitter in OCG, but I have to go over the newer effect of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. So here's they had a picture of it. Okay. Anyways, here's the picture of it. The website is actually down right now, but nonetheless, the newer effect of him is a hard once per turn of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. So let me go ahead and actually explain that. Red Eyes let me type in Darkness Metal Dragon is in fact not a spell. Darkness Metal. Okay. Anyways, for the OCG, he was banned, and now he's coming back to Limited. But anyways, it says you can special summon up by banishing a face-up dragon monster, and then once per turn, you can special summon a dragon-type monster from your hand or graveyard, except for itself. That effect is going to be a once per turn, like a hard once per turn. You can't like get rid of it and bring it back and then use this effect again. No shenanigans going on anymore. With that card. Instant Fusion also being hit again. That's probably a good thing, because that card with Blending Mize restricted consistency. But I love absorbing those Inspector borders, so I'm gonna miss that if it happens in the TCG. Brilliant Fusion's also changing. That should have been a long time ago, but if you guys look at what was topping in the OCG, which I'll briefly show you guys here in a moment, I'd say overall most of these changes are pretty good. Union Hanger also, again, a nerf to the ABC over here. But if you limit this, that's like already enough for the deck to like not be like way out of control. Then they hit Gateway, which I will always argue Gateway should just like be gone. Like, that card is so OP. You only need 1 anyways to loop your opponent, and like it's literally basically a 1-card FTK. Like, there's so many different combos with this. Semi Destiny Hero Malicious. I'm gonna be really sad, because with the Nemesis it makes it so much better, and when you put it to 2, it's like, I don't know if I want to play it. That's how, at least a lot of times, how I feel. Draconet for the consistency, and then multiple of the danger cards getting hit, and then Symbol of Heritage, which doesn't really matter. There's like a loop with Delord. It always goes on and off the ban list at some point. Limited and semi-limited. It doesn't really matter for the most part. Unlimited Trickster, Candina, Ash Blossom, Baby Stegosaurus, Unicorn. This could actually be a little bit different over here, because this is a card that Necros Unicorn was at 2 and it's now at 3. It doesn't really matter too much for the OCG players for the most part. I haven't seen them mess with it, but the TCG, if this goes up, I think a lot more people will be interested in running the Necros deck. But nonetheless, I want to show you guys also what was topping. I mean, if we check out, I also want to mention there hasn't been that many tournaments lately. Obviously, due to Crush Card virus, everyone's kind of staying at home. A lot of tournaments. Everything is being canceled in 2020 due to the Crush Card virus coming around. But Sky Strikers, Invoked, World Chalice. I mean, that's obviously not going to be as good anymore. Sky Striker and OCG will always run heroes. They'll be on every single list for the most part. There's always 1 or 2 hero players. Orcas over here. Again, this is the more recent tournament that we have, because again, there hasn't been that many. But nonetheless, that's a pretty cool list. Here's how I feel about this. I kind of wanted the Synchros to become the most dominant. I'm biased on that because Synchros are my favorite, but I'm curious to know what you guys think about this list. If we got it in the TCG, would you guys be happy, or is there anything that you would like to be changed? So here's how I feel. It's a really good list. Like, that's great. That's great. They kind of nerfed dragons pretty hard by also Guard Dragon, but they gave it at least something, right? I like it when decks have like a give and take. And what's interesting with this is I haven't followed the OCG super close, but I'm curious to know how you guys feel about the Zen Meiti over here. We haven't had this card in the TCG for years, right? But if you go to the OCG, they had triple. When was Wind Ups popping? And also Wind Up Magician, Wind I was typing magician. Actually, that's a bad idea. There's going to be too many magicians. Wind dash up. Magician over here. That was also at triple. Again, I think it's due to the new list. They didn't want it to become out of control. But will one Zenmaity really break the game in the TCG? I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I don't know if that would make it like from where it's at, again, in the TCG. We have 3 of these, right? Yeah, it's just Zenmaity we haven't had forever. But overall, great list. I think they really didn't need to hit this card. And with Gateway, I haven't seen 6 Samurais do anything but... thank you. I'm biased towards that card, I'll be honest. I'm mostly disappointed about the Mali because with Nemesis, it actually opens up the loops for a lot of stuff, which, you know, I guess we can think about in the TCU. But anyways, guys, that's the list. You guys can let me know how you feel about Radas down below and the new change to Reddish Darkness Metal Dragon with a cool new artwork. Like, I like it when they have new artwork with some of the cards. Maybe we'll get a new Makyura the Destructor artwork as well, but I just don't like it when they change cards on a Radas. That's just how I feel about it. But anyways, you guys can let me know your thoughts on it down below. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn on that bell. We'll do some more maybe OCG deck lists and have some fun with their ban list. But there's nothing that seems like it's out of control that we can show off or anything, especially with that Librarian hit, man. That feels bad. But again, make sure you guys watch this video. It's very important for the new rules coming in on April 1st. And if you guys want to send me replays of any crazy OCG combos, I want to see some Makyura FTK, but I don't think it's possible. But some people are creative. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good day, night. I'll catch you next video. Peace.